Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Writer here. We have our first preview clip for tomorrow's episode, so since there's so much time before the episode, I thought we'd break this one down, because this whole 24 hours, how are we gonna not discuss this? But I wanted to talk about it, what happened in it, some of my thoughts and theories at the end, but it was a pretty cool preview clip, I have to say. So it starts at the scene we have seen in all of the pictures and stuff of Ollie and Amelia in the dino base. You know, we get some more looks at the base. It's a cool looking base. I'm gonna, again, presuming my speculation is they enter somehow through the Dinohenge statues. So they're in there, but then they realize Void Knight is also in there searching for something. He keeps calling it the energy or something like that. And we get some cool shots too of, we see this little holder. It looks like one of those holders when you're at, like, I guess any store or like your optometrist and they have a rotating thing of glasses and sunglasses, but it's for Resoles. So that makes sense. I feel like that would be something that would just be in a Toku fan that's also an optometrist, but also a Resole fan. Where am I going with this? The bottom line is, I think it's cool looking. But so while he's searching, these doors open, and we see our little dino friend in there with like a cryogenically frozen Zato, and he's trying to wake him up, and Void Knight goes on him, he's like, "You can't stop me, I'm Void Knight." The dialogue was a little clunky in this, but it was a little awkward, but he tries to awake Zato, but Zato doesn't get into action fast enough. It seems like from the preview clip he will. He's still being chased around. Ollie looks back at the swords on the wall, and then he sees Kylo Ren's helmet, and he knew that Kylo Ren had an 8-pack. That Kylo Ren was shredded. So then, when Void Knight's about to strike the dino guy, Ollie comes in and saves him with a saber. And during this, there's a really cool score bit, which I'll talk about in a second. But he saves him, and then Amelia helps using this little net thing she has, which I think is her own, because I think I remember seeing it in the preview clip, or the preview pictures when they're approaching Dinohenge or something on her back. So I think that's her own, which I guess she needs for relic hunting. Remember when Overdrive was called Relic Hunters? So they kind of stop him, and then the dino dude pulls out a Resole, and I'm like, oh, this is where they get the powers to morph. But I'm like, oh, they look different. The morphing keys look different. But then he says, use this and the henge knights will follow you. And you can see throughout the clip that all of the henchmen are like frozen throughout. And so it turns out those, to start, those are actually guardians of the Dinohenge base, which is really cool. But Void Knight catches it, and he puts it in his sword. That's what she said. Or he said. But anyway, God, I'm getting so distracted in this one. But now those are under his control, and they surround Ollie and Amelia. So it was a pretty cool clip, I have to say. You know, there was some clunky dialogue in it, like I said, like, "I'm Void Knight, you won't stop me." That didn't sound like him. And then, you know, Amelia saying, "No one likes a bully." I don't know why she sounded like Izzy, but you know what I mean. Actually, Izzy's a character from Power Rangers. I meant Izzy from Digimon, like Prodigious. Man, all I had was just one cup of coffee before this. What's wrong with me? I liked the clip. You know, I liked seeing the cryogenic frozen Red Ranger kind of proves that at some point before he was frozen, he morphed. Because I was curious whether maybe he just would have had that night form before and the Ranger powers were a new bit. You know, like, because there's been things in the past, like Jungle Fury, where they're just now connecting him to the grid. But this confirms that at some point in the past he was a Ranger. Void Knight seemed surprised to see him. He just said a Power Ranger, like, oh, a Power Ranger? So I presume before this that they had met and fought like hundreds of years ago. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's just a weird phrasing, you know, and he didn't recognize him right away, and that'll be clarified later. But as of right now, it seems like he doesn't recognize Zato, which is interesting. I also really like that the Henge Knights were once like the guardians of the base. That's something cool that's been done before. I think the only time I can think of is Dino Thunder, oddly enough, with the Tyrannodrones being like the helpers of Tommy and Mercer, which is funny because like these guys do look more like they could be good guy guardians, but the Tyrannodrones look so evil. It's like, oh yeah, these are just our evil lizard helpers that like bring us lab results and stuff. So that's kind of funny, but I really like that idea. I guess the key should be able to summon them if he's gonna have them all throughout the series, but I think that's a pretty cool idea. Also, one of the other main things I wanted to highlight was the score. There were several little hints and teases at the score in this clip, like most notably when Ollie saves the dino guy, and it sounds really good. I like it so far. I don't want to, you know, get all super excited so far and be like, oh my god, it's gonna be the best thing ever, but I liked what I heard. It wasn't mmpr-esque, it sounded cool, and it was very fitting for a night theme. And I think based on this and based on the preview clips, I don't think there needs to be, or keep saying clips, but the pictures, I don't think there's any need to worry about the night theme not being incorporated. And also the name for the Henge Knights is cool because Dinohenge, get it? I'm a sucker for a good pun. And I predict that right after this, you know, the dino guy will toss them the keys so they'll morph, and then Zato will wake up just based off of the pictures we have and stuff like that. And I think that's what's going to happen. And honestly, I'm going to predict I'm going to enjoy the premiere. It's really going to come into play how the series is once we see what the filler episodes are like. But I think this will be a pretty enjoyable premiere. But I like that we're going to have some unique score beats, and I think that's already a nice little hint that the new person doing our score might actually have something kind of nice in store for us, which is neat. So what do you guys think? What did you think of the preview clip? What do you think? Are you going to enjoy the premiere? Are you excited for it? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can see my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.